How's it going, Dave and Comic Book Investments? So in this video, we're working on the 5 keys that are dropping in price, going down, and I'll give you my analysis on what's going to happen to them, why they're dropping, and what their future looks like if they'll basically go down to zero, maybe the dollar bid. All right, let's get in the video. All right, first up is we got Black Panther number 2, this first appearance of Shuri. A 9.8 recently sold for 106. In January, it was 142. That's down 25%. In 2023, it was average about 220, down 52%. And at its peak, it was 1,300, down 92%. So massive, massive drops. 92%. Wow. 1,300, down to 100. I checked month by month by month. I want to see, because obviously from January, so about a year ago, it's down 25% from $142 down to 106. But how is it doing? Did it basically drop and then just stabilize the whole year? Or it's been dropping? It's been slowly dropping. Every month, maybe the average is 112, and then the next month it's 108, and now it's 106. It did have 1 month that the average was lower than this 106. It averaged 92, and that was about 3 months ago. So it basically has been going like this, one big dip, and then kind of came back up, but still on the trajectory of going down. Just dropping, 5-10% a month, just little by little here and there. I still think it's going to drop, but I believe this book, it dropped down to 92. It hit like its resistance, and then it went back up. I think I've said this before, and I truly believe that this book is around $100 book. So at 106, slightly above 100, but not too much. I think it's just going to hop around between like probably 90 and 110 for a long while. Sure, you're going to see that it sell for like $70 or something once or twice, but on average, I think this is around $100 book. So I don't really expect this to really go down to like $50 or $60 book on average month after month after month. It's not going to happen. It's probably going to bounce around between 90 and like 110 from month to month. Next is we got Amazing Spider-Man 800. This is the Virgin, a 9.8, recently sold for $56. In January, it was 105, down 47%. In 2023, it was 192, down 71%. At its peak, out of the gate, way back in 2018, it sold for 800, down 93%. So yeah, I've said this before. That's technically how a lot of moderns work. Is they out of the gate, the FOMO is highest, it bids it up beyond what it should be. 56 seems a bit low. That's basically a case cost for a Spider-Man book, somewhat of a key, somewhat of a variant, not a true variant. I mean, it is, but not really. It's a version. That seems a bit low to me, but in January it was 105. This seems above a case cost book, so maybe like a $75 book. That's kind of like where it's at. So 56, good deal. Next is we got Nova number 1, a 9.8 recently sold for $690. In January, it was about $972. That is down 29%. In 2023, it was averaging about $1425, down 52%. And then as its peak, it was $3,000. That was back in 2021, as down 77%. This book was steadily going down, then recently had a big drop off, and really hasn't rebounded. It's back lower than it was in like 2018, 2019 levels. So prior to the comic boom, that's not good. But I think this will have a rebound. I'm pretty confident that this will have a rebound. Will we see sub 600 for this book? I really don't think so, other than maybe a couple sales in like the 550, 575. That could happen. But I think on average, I think this will bounce around the 600 mark, 600 something. And I think it will have a resurgence in general for Nova number 1 at a 9.8. So yeah, I think it's going to be hitting its resistance and jumping back. All right, next we got Spider-Man number 300. A 9.8 recently sold for $23.25. In January is 3360, so that's down 30%. And then in all of 2023, he's averaging about 3,600. That's down 36%. And then at its peak, it was $9,200. Wow, that is down 75%. So this is the first appearance of Venom. Venom movie has come and mostly gone. It's still in the theaters, but it should be coming to streaming like a month or so. The movie surprisingly made a decent amount of money. I think it's going to cross $500 million, which is surprising because most of that is overseas. It didn't do that well in America, but overseas it did pretty well. The first movie, it made $1 billion, which is crazy. And then the second movie made like 500 or 600 million or whatever it made. And then this one's going to be right around there, a little less than I think number 2 when it's done. But it makes a lot of money overseas. In like China, they really love Venom. Other places. But nonetheless, this book is dropping, and it's been steadily dropping. It kind of got a little bit of bump when the movie is coming out, but then it's back on track to dropping. So now, normally I would say, okay, it's not even near, it's like 2019, 2018 levels prior to the comic boom. So it's still, I could say it still has room to drop. But I really, truly believe that 2025 will be a rebound year for comic books. Now, I'm not saying it's going to come back to 2021 levels, but I'm saying like most things have been dropping down. It's just going to hit a resistance and start going back up. Not sky high, just normal, how it normally has always. Look at this graph right here, how it always has. Just, a couple percent a year, year over year. That's normally how it's been. So I think that's where we're going to hit. So I think this won't drop that much. I won't think it will go back to 2018, 2019 levels because I think it's comics in general will hit that rebound, and this being a pretty big key will hit that as well. So 23, 25 for a 9.8. Could have dropped a little more, sure, but I don't think this book is going to hit sub 2,000 for a 9.8. I just don't think so. That, yes, of course, there always could be those sales, those random sales. But on average, I don't think this is going to be a sub $2,000 book. I think 23, 25 is a bit low. I think it's going to bounce around in a big range of, probably like 2,100 to 27, 2,800. Like these books have big ranges. So that's what I think it's going to be. All right. Last on the list is we got Brave and the Bold, number 28, first appearance of the Justice League. A 6.0 recently sold for $57.60. In January is about 7,200, down 21%. In all of 2023 is about 65.33, so down 12%. And then its peak it was 7,500, down about 23%. I mean, if you just look at this graph, it's kind of like flat, but it's like has a few bumps along the way. But it hasn't really. It didn't get a comic boom at all. Maybe one sale, and that not every book got the comic boom. So since it didn't get a comic boom, it pretty much stayed the same. So it's been around the same since 2013. Jumping around here and there, a couple sales higher, a couple sales lower, and actually a lot of the grade ranges they're kind of all over the place. Kind of representative of this graph. You had some that were actually up for the year, and then others that were down for the year. So it's kind of all over the place. I mean, it's a safe book. So if you bought this book in, 2013, 2014, like a decade ago, you haven't really lost any money. It's been about the same. So that's a good thing. So not all comic books drop. Not all comic books are got the comic boom and then crashed immediately. So that's good. Anyways, that is it for the video. Have a good day.